Okay, we should be live. We are indeed. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be casting a scrim. Today in the commentary box, I'm joined by the one, the only Sorcerer of Nice, aka Nick.
Hello. I'm here as
So,
his I'm here as reaction commentator today.
yeah.
Unless
Um,
Steve unless Steve decides to give me the reins for a map or two. We'll see.
w- we'll see. So this is being streamed on my channel. Last time we did um, a stream and um, casting. It was over on Nick's channel. If I remember rightly, I'll pin it to the comments, so go check him out over on his YouTubes. Give him some loves. We're just waiting on the game to be started. Um,
We are going to be starting with Nepal. They've asked for Nepal, and so now we just kind of are waiting to see.
yep. So Team Blue is going to be Phantom. Team Red is Swosu. If I can get their
Swosu.
name out,
You could
Swosu.
just say gray.
Grey. Um, so this is going to be fun.
Okay.
Um,
And it looks like they are debating if they're gonna play with Hero Man or not. So we'll see. Well, while we wait for that, I don't know. I'll be back. Yes. Casting, doing a cast, and I say I'll be back. We get that.
so this is why we can't have nice things, by the way, chat. this is one of the reasons why. Um, so we're just waiting. We'll just have our game very quickly, so I can resort out this. There we go. That should restart my overlay. If not, then it looks like it has. There we go. Maybe.
Okay, it looks like they are banning. I don't know if you've noticed, but they are banning. Looks like Phantom's gonna be going with the Sim ban, which on Nepal actually is a decent ban in
That's an
general.
in. It's a very
It looks like
telegraphed ban and a Juno ban from Grey. Um,
so. What I'm looking at this is so there's not gonna be as much. It's
this
gonna
is
be a
going to
lot
be
harder
slow.
to.
It's going to be pretty much a lot of roll here.
And with no Juno, you're not gonna have that additional bit of speed. But usually Lucio can make up for that anyway, and usually you'll hold on to the Lucio anyway.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any TP plays or anything, so chokes are going to be a lot harder to break through. So by the looks of it, teams are going to be getting ready.
Okay. And we go in. Um, one team is militia, one team is external, if I'm rightly from what I was told. So
We're going to be using the scrim code for Overwatch, so that's what we're using. The info code is on the right. This will end up playing out all the maps, so that's the big thing. So I have played with a few of Phantom, and I know Fox is a pretty good support, and what I do know is Akka is a fucking mean ass hit scan, and so it's going to be very interesting on seeing what they're going to be doing. I play a little bit with Bidoof, but that was in the beginning. And he plays the tank, and yeah, I haven't played with Not yet, so we'll see what they do. So
and looking at the team of Grey, they are going out here with the standardized Zarya comp, which is a lot of
very brawly comp is what they've got here with the Lucio Ana, and they've got Zarya's the tank with Mei and Soj, which is not a bad combination because usually I know back a little bit ago is usually sometimes you see the Sojourn and Mei as a DPS duo, which was never a bad idea.
And
Side
it
of
looks like it's
Phantom?
going to be the poke on the side of Phantom.
Round 1.
Yeah, but they do have a very versatile background.
I've got a bullet with
No way
your
to go.
name.
There we go. So they're both going to be taking over here. Taking a nice early fight. Unfortunately, one Phantom goes down already. Although the Zarya is getting low, already the team is backing up to get back with their drink rat.
So early quick fight, both teams tried to push upper center, but it looked like it looked to be
And the
Mania
switch.
Yeah, it looked like the Muffin ending up pushing first and pushing aggressively and killing the Orisa early, and it looks like they'll be going swapping mid, trying to see if they can get a better read.
Your day just got
Already
made.
made out for Sojourn. Sleep out onto the Reinhardt, who goes down to half health.
Back up with a pick onto Slide.
And unfortunately, again, the dude purple here, going down to half health, isn't able to get the support that he is needed.
Got Lucio and Soj kind of hanging around the back high ground with a lot of pressure on Vidu here, who's playing the Ryan. It's usually a decent pick into Zarya, she can create against her. It's usually a lot harder for Zarya to make any value out of it. She can't beat her shield. But a big hit.
Charge out.
Muffin caught.
Already 3K taken. Seeing if he can get anything on the way out. Unfortunately, he is by himself on the point and gets walled off, so he cannot retreat.
So big thing in that fight there is that Not ends up getting picked off by Muffin on the cross 2 points, and so that left them without one of their supports and left them without a lot of the speed that they would have had going into it. But it looks like they'll be recontesting the upper side of the map here.
New coming out. Out comes the wall, unfortunately coming off the gas and he takes out the animal, the trouble.
But
Out comes
the
a huge grab, Tom.
freeze plus the grab there, make sure they can't get away. Maniac Muffin gets a 4-piece to keep Swosu Gray. I'm gonna have trouble butchering that name as well. They're gonna keep holding this point. 60% now. I hope this stream is going okay, but we'll see.
Again, the contest in this high ground, so they're easily looking at this for this play here. They are going into a Zarya though that is keeping a lot of charge, but they baited out the wall already. Out comes the tire. Double beat. Out comes the shatter. He'll be explored.
Also dump, but it looks like both Lucios are traded out and a huge tire. And by the looks of it, it will be a potential, it will be a win, team fight win for Phantom, but that is a very costly team fight win as they lose all their ults, and while Gray still have the nano here, if they want to potentially push this wrestling fight, they'll get charged. Once this one 2 ults now is capacity, played by Aka.
In comes Big Muffins. Zarya already contested this Reinhardt from the lead down. Looking for potential purchase here is Bidoof. Hits the charge, but hits him, goes down to half health, unable to have any follow. Out comes the Nano onto the Zarya. Unfortunately, that's 100% charge Zarya with Nano. You are going to die there. No matter what you try and do.
And that looks like that will be Village going to Swosu Gray.
It's
just honestly for that map, generally Gray was able to get the early team fight wins quicker, and yeah, it doesn't look like they were able to kind of keep their team up a little bit more. And the Junkrat into a Zarya is never a great pick, because usually if you're a Junkrat, you're wanting to just spam nades all over the place. Zarya can usually take advantage and get some good beam charge off of that. It doesn't look like there'll be any teams. Actually, no. Looks like there will be a couple swaps. It looks like Mata will be going over the Torb and Not's going over the Ana, probably just for a little bit more sustain on the Rhine and keep a little bit of pressure on the team. But
Bidoof is hovering over the Orisa. Orisa
And
map now is what is being hovered.
an interesting
I
thing.
don't-
Usually, ooh, okay, so it looks like they're going to be trying to go for a little more actual poke here with the Bap Zen for a little extra damage on the support line to possibly keep the pressuring on the Zarya. And it looks like Bidoof is just going to play the mirror into this. So we'll see how this works out for Phantom
Capture the objective.
as we get round 2 underway. Both teams looking to be contesting mid early, but it looks like Gray will contest it first because they do have that Lucio for the extra speed.
And already the turret going down from Mata. And already disengaged from both sides, looking to capitalise. Down goes the Cassidy.
The objective is now active.
Fortunately, getting caught off. But in the meantime, 2 go down on the side of Grey.
Both supports are down on the side of Gray, so it looks like they'll be just trying to kite away here, but the Mei looks to have stuck around later than what their welcome was allowed. And by looks of it, the rest of Gray's players will just kite away and look to regroup for this next team fight. But this gives a great chance for Phantom to set up because they do have some very lockdown style heroes that are really good at defending, not as so great on the offense. So you can walk.
In comes Zarya, they're already down to half health from the side of Grey. But is getting slightly split from their soldier. But out comes the wall. A little early, to be honest. But again, Lamp goes down goes half health, goes naughty. Already this contest is on. In comes the Graviton, hits all 5 members.
And it looks like Transcendence gets popped just so Foss can get away there, and it looks like he'll just end up trying to kite away, but it looks like the rest of Grey is going to try to catch him and stagger him out. And it looks like they will succeed in that, as they do take the point, but 49% on that first hold for Phantom puts them in a decent position, but they'll need to regroup quick.
100%. Already looking at this split positioning as well from Phantom here. The high ground, out comes the window for the Baptiste.
Oh, but Soj on Seepser coming up to try to contest the BAP, and Not's gonna have to drop down. The window doesn't get much value there. We've got both 3 ults coming up on the side
Out
of
comes
Phantom.
the Ice Spell from the May. Having that perk really helps out by killing 2 members in the backline as the front line do not even realise that that's happening.
It looks like Phantom's going to be split out again, so they're going to have to wait for their team to respawn before they contest this. But they do have 3 ults coming up in Grav, Molten Core, and the Noon. So we'll see if they can actually make anything out of this play. But they do have 5 ults coming up. 3 ults already on the side of Grey, but 2 ults super close. So it's basically at this point 5. So this is a more of an advantage fight for Grey. We'll see how it goes.
100% that America. Unfortunately, lost it. Out comes the Graviton! Out comes the Blizzard! Out comes the Wall! All very quickly! And out comes the Graviton Surge! All in quick succession. All leading to, unfortunately, Phantom's death. And that is a 2-0 currently. We do go to all 3 points as Nick did mention on the screen.
This ends
So we
now.
will be seeing
It'll be Sanctum coming up next
Sanctum
after
next.
Shrine.
My turn.
look
Score
already.
Zero
Very looking
to
very
2.
strong here.
Yeah, they seem to kind of have the comp they want to be running here on their Brawl style kind of Lucio comp. Classic Lucio Ana. Usually a very good backline because the pressure that they can have with the high damage and a good movement that the Lucio can help the Ana peel. And the Ana with those Bionades is just going to be absolutely devastating on the backline. And the team of Phantom.
Well, 100%. And by the looks of it, Grey have found something that they do like with this comp. Um,
And it looks like Foss is going to be swapping over the Kiriko probably. Actually, no. It looks like they were going back to Zen. Looks like they were potentially hanging around the Kiri. Possibly for the Suzu. But it looks like Akka is going to be making the swap over the Bastion. And Mata on the Sojourn. So they're going to be running double hit scan here. Probably to burn down the Zarya and even...
5,
But
4, 3.
it's just kind of hanging around a bunch of different heroes.
Round 3.
And so it looks like he'll be
Capture
finally
the
deciding on the
objective.
cast as we get this third round going.
and by the looks of it, both taking this right-hand side towards the pit itself and the external of Sanctum. Already a lot of damage coming in regards to the side of Grey, and pushing hard onto Bidoof.
The objective
Unfortunately,
is
Bidoof
now
getting walled off, getting antied, and getting...
No bubbles on board, but no bubbles for Bidoof, so he gets picked off very quick. Akka was holding her off angle, trying to see if he get any poke damage. But it looks like
Down
they'll be
goes
just ran.
Loss as well.
But it looks like they'll just be ran into the choke point door, and it looks like Grays, this is where they're going to want to hold. And this is usually the place you want to be holding in Sanctum. You want to be holding this central corridor with the two doors. And if you're really good at rotating, this is usually a very hard choke to break through. One of the hardest in the game.
And they're looking already at this left-hand side as a potential, and Grey already knowing that's what they wanted to do. Plays the wall, out comes the wall, out comes the lamp. Unfortunately, Bidoof loses his life before he can fully escape.
And it looks like Phantom's just gonna rotate around, possibly get a pick here, look for a trade, but it doesn't look like they're gonna get it. It looks like they'll just wait for Bidoof to come back, so then they can potentially re-engage this.
And a nano and a beat already here, and Bidoof comes back as the Reinhardt.
Ooh, Foss gets a pick on to Seepser. And it looks like they'll be down their main source of DPS, as it looks like Gray's just gonna try to kite away back towards the point.
Brawl already 2 down in regards to the supports who have to play
Akka.
so safe here.
Akka gets the double kill. And looks like that gets them the fight win. After losing Sojourn, you don't have as much damage, and you can't exactly break through the Rhine Shield or gain any much bonus off of
Unfortunately,
it.
Foss gets caught out as the tank of Grey is on their way out and is doing a wraparound. I don't even know if
Akka looks
they
to
are
be
now very aware of it.
yeah. Akka looks to be holding these back stairs probably for a little bit of poke damage and not to get dived by the Lucio or even have a little safer cover against the main
This
and
ends now.
Out comes Leon on the cast. Out comes the Sleep Dog onto the cast. Hits the cast, unfortunately, coming out. That
It looks like Phantom's going to be popping some ults here, seeing if they can possibly work a trade, but it doesn't look like it's going to go for naught. As the rest of
ults are submitted in that fight. The cast
looks
needs
like-
high need, and unfortunately, they are unable to keep that point. And Grey retake and re-establish themselves.
Phantom had to invest a lot into that fight, and they were trying to see if they could get some trades, but it doesn't look like it will go for anything. It looks like they'll be just having to try to regroup here. As Akka squats over to the Bastion, probably for a little bit more damage, to possibly bust down the enemy team.
If they are tracking this properly, they would know that ground was coming. Out comes the freeze, out comes the ground zone, down goes 3 members.
This ends
Taking
now.
out one in the meantime, down goes the supports, and unfortunately that is going to take 100 to 49%.
As a full flawless from Swosu Grey, as they really do seem to like the fall if they want to go here. So this is probably a map they feel very confident in playing. Considering with the comp they have, they didn't have to change once, while Phantom was generally changing, kind of looking for answers. They settled somewhat on something, but they were still kind of like looking around for something.
And we will wait now for a moment whilst we get the map choice from Phantom. Um, um, Sly Fox is obviously their one of their contributors to a few of the matches and games there. But Manic Muffin, if I can actually speak today.
Maniac Muffin.
Maniac Muffin, correction. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
Also showing that heavy Zarya comp and wanting to go down that route. Do you think they would ban the Zarya in the next round to take Swosu Grey off their comfort pick of this Zarya?
Well, either which way, it looks like Phantom will be taking the next map pick, and they will be picking Circuit. And they looks like Swosu Grey does see that, and looks like they'll be banning the Sig out of this match. Because Sig usually performs well on Circuit on long sight lines when he can kind of poke at a distance and help his team poke. And looks like Phantom kind of wants to go a little bit more pokey, because right now in the Brawl matchup, Swosu Grey does look to have the advantage here.
And the fact that they're thinking of a Sigma ban from the side of Swosu Grey does make me think that they're wanting to play this comp again of the Zarya to protect the Zarya ban. Which is an interesting factor.
But it's also, if Zarya can't get space, she's kind of useless because she doesn't have great range. If a team has good poke potential, she's usually going to get bursted down, and Sig's usually very good at helping with that. And so on this map, it actually kind of makes sense for the Sig to get banned.
Yep. Now, in regards to Phantom, what do you think they're going to be banning here?
Well, if they're playing like OWCS rules where they can't ban the other role, they can only ban a DPS or a support, then I would think they would probably want to go with the Mei here, potentially, because they did enjoy the Mei, but if they don't go the Mei, I would think they'd probably maybe take away the Lucio for the kind of the perma speed, and have to possibly put them onto Juno, but even then, Juno's still very good. But she's a little more exposed on something like Circuit, where Lucio has a little bit more movement options.
To be honest, with a Sigma ban being in play, you're looking at potentially, the Brawl, or it's more of a Brawl that Zarya is now. So you're probably wanting to play that Lucio.
It looks like they're just waiting out for the ban. But if they're playing something like the Advanced, the Open, the Expert, or the Master Division, usually how that one works is that you can just ban any of the heroes, no matter, so there could be a double support ban, double tank ban, or something like that, so we'll see. Because it's slightly different comparatively to OWCS, where you can ban the hero and you can ban it as many times as you want within the match. But I know I have seen stuff on forums and such, people wanting to play it by the OWCS rules, to where their hero can't get banned out for the entire time, so. We'll see if that's a change they will implement later. But right now, it's just deciding on this second ban from Team Phantom.
Yep. And just to reiterate something that Nick didn't say with the OWCS bans, which stands for Overwatch Champion Series, you can ban the same character if you're on the opponent team later in the series. You cannot ban them at the same time. So, for instance, you can't ban Lucio and then immediately someone else going, yeah, we don't like Lucio here either. So, I'll have to double check on that, but I believe that's how it works.
Looks like they're gonna get going
Traveling
onto
to
this.
Nepal.
They forgot to change the
But
map.
they forgot
Ready
to change
for
the map.
battle.
But it looks like Team Phantom is gonna go with the Soj ban to eliminate a lot of the poke that can come from the enemy team. It is definitely a weird looking circuit.
Very weird looking circuit rail. It's
But
one
it
of
looks
the weirdest looking circuit rails that I've ever seen.
Yes, it is. But it looks like it was just a forgetfulness on the side of whoever is doing the lobby. But it looks like we'll be getting underway
Welcome
on
to
the
Circuit
on
Royale.
circuit here in map number 2.
Ready for battle.
And obviously, already, Phantom is showing this Widow pick, which is highly strong on point A defense.
That will be it. Yeah. The long sight lines allow Widow to get good shots in, and obviously the different high grounds allow her to come back up if she needs to. It looks
And
like
they
they'll
are going
be
double sniper.
yeah. By the looks of it, they're feeling going to be apparently people are wondering where the Juno is. Apparently it was and it looks like somebody messed up the thing, so they might have to go change it up, but and so they're looking to want to play Juno, but it looks like somebody forgot to take the Juno back, since it is the bans only do work for one map.
Unfortunately, I believe there was a few miscommunication errors with that, so...
But it's interesting to see the comp. So it looks like they will be running very similar to what they were trying to run previously, but it looks like
It's ready.
But it looks like they will be wanting to play a bit of the Genji here, and Genji can usually close the gap pretty good if he's able to deflect and then get that dash with a possible pick.
Ready for
And
battle.
Phantom
now
really-
on daytime instead of evening circuit royale, so it works, I guess.
And it looks like they will be playing, Phantom will be playing Ramatra with a cast Widow with a break on a backline, which is usually pretty good, especially on a map like Circuit where the break can constantly kind of keep her on a safe. And it looks like on the side of Swosu Gray, they're going to be playing, we're looking to the Genji, but it looks like Seepser is going to be swapping over to the Ashe just for a little bit of poke range here, and it looks like in place of the Lucio, they will be playing the Juno just to kind of have a substitute speed character. Noir staying on that Ana.
Fox here, hovering over this Torbjorn.
Four,
It's now becoming a staple of high-level games, so there's a toll,
Attackers incoming.
which
It's
used to not
because
be a
it's
thing.
Stop the
right,
payload.
but it's
His
because of the
perks are
perks and
so
stuff.
strong.
Yeah, the perks and stuff make Torb really
There
good.
goes
Though.
the first
I've ex-
fight. Already
Speed
the
ring.
Metro goes down, half health. Has to get some roll from his
Ooh, and it looks like
down.
it looks like they're able to rotate up high, and it looks like the Zarya and the Torb are going to just be chasing down Team Phantom's backline. It looks like they'll get some free push here, but Doof has to fight back to be able to protect.
Having to hit the Nemesis form already. Unfortunately, they don't have that, and the Torm turret is up on by the Sentry here. Does get taken out by the Widow. And this Widow is looking for potential picks. Already taken down the Ashe, down to half health. Pushing up is so
Dynamite ends up killing Akka, as Seepster managed to get that earlier. And already, barely any resistance from the side of Phantom, and they are able to take the first point on the side of Grey.
And down goes Volts as well. In the meantime, unfortunately getting picked off by that Zarya.
And it looks like Akka's going to be making a swap over the Soldier just to have a little bit of more range pressure. Doof gets very
Akka
low,
gets
especially against the turret.
Deacon Spear.
Seepster does manage to take out Akka.
Yes.
And it just has, Noir just is sitting on this payload at the moment. They're just chilling right now. Like, they can just play at range, safe, using the payload as cover. Right now, Phantom is just looks to be on the back foot. They just
Fortunately,
can't
Slyfox gets taken out as you're saying this.
it looks like they'll be...
Out comes the rally, out comes the Rotom though.
Recontest looks to be coming on the side of Phantom. It looks like with the
Looking
Brig rally,
game free.
forward. And Orbital popped by Balter. And it looks like they'll just be popping it forward, and Balter and Noir end up taking out Foss. And it looks like this will be second point. With about 5.5 to go. Swosu Grey is in a great finishing the map.
Taking checkpoint B, as you said, very good succession. Phantom does know that they're above, currently unable to contest this high ground. Is going to be looking for potential in the wrap round now.
And looks like Foss is going to be making the swap over to the BAP, probably for a little more long range pressure because of this third point and the amount of high ground potential in this point, because BAP can use his maneuverability to jump to the high ground.
And looking at Seepster here, is taking the off angle, is popping some shots into the back line.
And Noir's kind of just left by himself. The rest of Swosu Grey is just moving as a pack, going to the high ground, seeing if they can get a pick here, but it looked like Phantom moved ahead, ended up taking out Noir, who was kind of left by themselves, as Ana don't have great movement speed. And now Noir's going to sit in the doorway and poke from the distance.
Again, out comes Bob.
And B-Mata is going to get caught out here. But Akka pops sight, hoping to get a pick, and gets Seepster. And is looking at for Bolter.
Good pick from the soldier here of
Akamarin.
If I can speak to that, apparently. Or you
could say Marin or Akka, either which way works. Or either which way. But it looks like we're going to have 2 ults on the side of Grey with 4 ults on the side of Phantom, as they look to kind of hold this point. 3.5 to go.
And this double off angle from Mata again gets slapped.
Well, Cat's ult can have big damage potential.
Out comes the Annihilation though.
And 3-piece.
It's free.
4-piece from Bidoof. And lives Maniac Muffin low and looks to be staggering them out. And they will get staggered. But as I was saying, Cat's ult does have potential for a good chance at a kill. But the problem is, you're very vulnerable, even with the increased buff to speed and the damage negation. One well-placed sleep guard or anything of CC can absolutely end a cast. But a huge annihilation from Bidoof keeps the point from going any further, as we're down to under 3 minutes.
Again, is taking that high ground, is taking the fight already. Down goes the Baptiste and the soldier. How comes the call? Unfortunately, Bidoof gain call off. The game killed in that call is going to push along Swosu Grey all the way towards this checkpoint and checkpoint C.
And it looks like they'll be rounding the corner here in the final stretch as looks like Phantom's just waiting for Bidoof to respawn and they'll look to push forward. Not pop the window. And Orbital going out.
Also goes out.
Bidoof looks to push Noir here, but
Out
gets
comes the
left.
anti. Out
By
comes
the
the
look of
Graviton
it,
hits.
both a grab and a fucking oh Jesus Christ, I can't speak either. And the Nano. And it looks like they'll be able to finish this map with just under 2 minutes left.
1 minute 49 is quite a lot of time, and you can get a major amount of push
Score
done with that time.
0
Um,
to 3.
Unfortunately,
Switching sides.
Phantom did start showing a little bit of life on point
Ready
C,
for battle.
but
Just the time bank. Just the amount of the time they were on that back foot on the first 2 points kind of left them high and dry. And sure, it is possible to full hold with 5.5 to go, but it's really hard. And even the best teams can struggle with that. If you've got a good,
100%.
if you're on the back foot for most of the match, the other team's gonna have confidence to push at you, especially when you don't know what you want to do here. And so by the looks of it, Mata's going to be taking an Ashe here. So with Akka going back to the Widow, looking for double sniper to start off, and looks like Maniac Muffin will be going to the ball to start this. But it looks like they just TP back to spawn because this code does allow for TP back to spawn. And it looks like they'll be going to the Zarya and coming back. And it looks like Mata is going and Akka are going to cast Bastion with Foss going to Juno. And so very similar backlines, but different tanks and DPS.
100%. Again, as you've probably already said, Akka here showing the Bastion potentially for that burst damage from this pass.
From his turret form, Bastion does have probably some of the greatest burst potential in the game, but the moment his turret is gone, he's left a little more vulnerable. And good team play can counter a good Bastion. And so we'll get started here as Phantom looks to push around his first court.
Phantom already losing the shield from their rematch, unfortunately, but it does come back so quickly. Out comes the Vortex, hits
Seepser gets a pick on that top. In the battle of the hit scan right now, Akka's just getting absolutely dominated by Seepser right now. Like, Akka just can't seem to have an answer right now. It's like Akka's going to be to the app to play the kind of the is what we
out
like
comes
to
the
call it.
Nurse's form, has to hit block, is purple and anti. Speeding out to assist their Retro, but having to play this highly aggressive position. Again, Nurse's form being already pushed out early.
What we like to call this, Gray has almost of a death wall set up to where the Zarya can kind of push forward and take space and with how many of them are up on the high ground, Phantom has to push into this. There's only one way up to this high ground on the left side, or they could play an absolutely risky route and going around the back side, but it looks like Phantom will be trying to think of a way to break this formation, but it doesn't look like they'll be breaking it on their first attempt. As we have 3 ults coming up on the side of Gray, and 2 ults on the side of Phantom. Full support outs in play.
100% speed ring already out as well to the engage. Out comes the Nano, but out comes the nasty
Full support ults out on the side
ults out.
on both teams. Akka gets picked by Muffin.
Out comes the Sleep Dart onto the Rematro. Unfortunately, they are getting extremely low. Unfortunately, does get a kill in the end for the time. And down to 1 minute 40 already is the team of Phantom.
Both DPS ults on the side of Gray, with both DPS ults in the tank ult coming up for Phantom. And And we've got a Noon, Bob, Core, and Annihilation, and we'll see how both teams want to utilize this. For Gray, I would expect Bob to be nothing more than a defensive play, especially if you're wanting to contest points, or possibly if Phantom does get the cart back onto the bridge and up and around, they'll use the Bob to kind of pop.
Mata has to be very careful with this screen as well. It's been every single time that he's trying to utilize it, he has been
But
slept.
Mata gets the pick onto the Torb, and the turn is no more.
Out comes the Annihilation!
Sleep part gets popped. Also kills Seepster.
Out
Mata
comes
walks the
Noon!
corner. Mata walks the corner with the Noon, looking just to take space with it. That's usually what Noon ends up getting used for, is just to take the space. And looks like Mata did pick.
Out comes the LT as well. Out comes the Bob!
And Mata did pick the perk that refreshes 30% of the Noon charge when they fully use it without popping a shot.
Very helpful. Out comes Bob from the team.
Oh, but it doesn't look like they're able to push any further. Some 5 meters up the goal.
Down-
And Caesar
down
gets a
to
3
10
piece. Help of the
seconds.
Bob. They might not be able to touch. Mata gets a pick on Sly Fox, but Caesar picks off Akka. And Mata's just
Unfortunately,
left to
yeah,
kinda
you're
hang on
right.
to the
That's where the
mid-fight.
card's going to end. That's game.
Victory.
As
Round 2. Going
Swosu Gray ends up getting a good push. It ends up holding Team Phantom.
Play of the game.
100%, as you said. This highly aggressive was very well done by the suicide of Gray. And this annihilation was very helpful to the team of Phantom. Unfortunately, not getting too much to purchase, though.
4-piece on that annihilation, but at the end of the day, they just weren't able to hold out on defense. And now I'm wondering what is gonna likely go through Phantom's heads right now as they kind of think through and just trying to kind of see if they can play around this. Because right now, Maniac Muffin is just having their way on tank with Team Phantom.
And the team, on the side of Phantoms, they have given the map choice to Swosu Gray. So they can pick the ban first. With that, I am thinking that they're probably going to go with the Zarya ban.
Well, if they want to play the Zarya ban, that's the one time they can ban her. If they're playing this as a normal match, the one time they can ban her. Probably, hopefully, trying to think of an answer, or at least slow down Maniac. Because Maniac hasn't seemed to want to get off the Zarya. And it looks like their main tanks are Zarya Reinhardt, with a little bit of the Ram. But it looks like they really enjoy their kind of close-range ball tanks. But Zarya is their main pick. For this competitive season, anyway. But they are a Rhine main. Which Steve will enjoy, because Steve does enjoy his Reinhardt.
As Nick did say, I do enjoy causing a bit of chaos with Reinhardt. If you watch my, I'll probably link it in a bit.
And
but,
it looks like Swosu Gray is going to be picking the Eichenwald. So very good brawl potential on the first point, but then pretty much it's almost a poke to dive map afterwards.
Yeah, so it's going to be one of those mixture maps.
And it looks like they will be banning the Zarya. This map. Would you try to get back into this?
I had a feeling that they might have. It's interesting that they are choosing it now.
I'm assuming they are doing it now because they were trying to kind of work around it. And I'm pretty sure Zarya, they weren't sure we're going to have a lot of value on a circuit. So, Eichenwald, it's a lot more close quarter, and you could probably do a lot more. So, I'm going to take the assumption that Maniac does end up playing the Rhine here. And so, that'll kind of, Bidoof will kind of be on even footing, kind of playing into it. If they pick the Rhine as well.
100%. It's kind of one of those things right now of we don't know how these teams are going to go about things. And if you are now Swosu Grey, looking at the Zarya ban, what do you ban?
I would think they would ban probably a very well, if anything, they're gonna be playing like behind Rhine Shield and probably poking it out if they're playing on defense. But if they're attacking, they're gonna be looking to get aggressive, and so they're probably going to likely shut down any character, whether support or DPS, that does have good CC to slow down pushes. And it looks like they will be banning the Cass out. So it looks like the Hindranade will be out of the play, and so that possibly makes me think that they're going to be playing a very rush-style comp into for attack to start for Swosu, because they always have the attack first since they are the red team.
Yes, as he alluded to, Swosu Grey.
But it's
Welcome
not
to
fucking
Circuit
Circuit anymore.
Ready for battle.
And I'm going to knock on my door.
No worries, I will fill in for you for a moment. Swosu Grey picking Eichenwald here. Very weird looking Eichenwald.
Traveling to Eichenwald.
And Swosu wanting the defense first.
Ready for battle.
That's my OverWatch is having a bit of a stutter right now. But yes, Swosu looking at a Sigma poke comp with the Mei Farah, Juno Anna backline, where now switching over to the Reinhardt with an Echo instead of the Farah. On the side of the Phantom, we're looking at a Anna with a Baptiste with a Ashe Drinkrat with the Sigma for Bidoof as well. Looking at the positioning though, as an overall of this first point, they look to be going through main, and the main area over here is going to be contested by the main team. Don't know what Mata is doing so far in the back line, unless they're changing character. Which it does look to be that way, and they have chosen the Bastion.
Hello. I have returned, sorry. For context, my dad walked into my room and wanted me to come grab some food, so I waited till after circuit. So yeah, I had a guess Muffin would end up going to play the Rhine, and it looks like they will be playing kind of the same comp, but instead the Juno. Probably just to kind of have a quick, I'm assuming likely to kind of have a little bit more burst potential.
Aka here is very close just to do some scouting originally. Already told the rest of the team about the Reinhardt's play, so Mata went
very
back to
pokey bat
spawn.
line on the side of Phantom with on bat.
Yeah, Mata went back to spawn, changed off the Junkrat to the Bastion.
5, 4,
and
3,
as the count starts, we are going
1.
to watch this
Attackers
Ashe throwing
incoming.
dynamite as the
Defend
Dolphin goes.
objective A.
Doesn't get any ult charge unfortunately because the right shield just absorbed all that. And comes the Ryan poking and
Oh, but
taking
huge
the losses.
sleep onto Muffin and gets the anti. He remains low
Out
under
comes
half.
Wall. as we go over looking at point A, where the cart is, we can see where the rest of the teams are playing. Down goes the tank of.
And
Great,
Steve will have to do the thing for a little bit, because I spilled my plate of food on myself. Mostly rice and pork.
Aka here taking the off angle, hopefully to get anything done, but unfortunately taking the fire strike to his head, losing their life. Down goes to Baptiste as well, unfortunately. Out comes the grenade from the Anna, down goes the as well, down goes the rest of the team, unfortunately not with any support. This attack phase has been quick and decisive from the team of Swosu Grey, and already looking at a potential 5-minute time bank here. Swosu looking at Castle here to go internally, going to the high ground, wrapping around, out comes the shatter, hits 2! Down goes the Anna, down goes the Sigma, down goes the rest of the team because unfortunately their main healer went down early. Down goes the Ash, and they are going to stagger most likely this Bastion as well. Unfortunately they did not get the stagger, but as all this time the cart has been moving ever so slowly because War, again being the good little Halo princess that they are, bringing in the cart to point B. Ash taking the high ground on point B, doing some
This ends now.
Out comes the artillery for the Bastion. Oh, does not get anything. Down goes Baptiste, down goes the Sigma. Sigma gets pinned. Baptiste gets killed with the overclock. Bob did in fact do something, and that something was a heck of nothing. Out comes the Flux hit. Does not get too much purchase. It does hit the Reinhardt. Taylor's taking Reinhardt very low. Down goes May. The Reinhardt does have to retreat to the team. Unfortunately, too much damage has been done. Out comes the orbital already. Out comes the antidote onto 3 members of Swosu Grey. Out comes the Genji though for Aka now. Instead, down to some of help, needs to get help, but down goes the Shatter, hits 2, down goes the Baptiste, down goes the Baptiste, down goes the Anna, down goes the Genji. That's a team wipe, unfortunately. The one going down though for the Troubles as they roll it into C.
This ends now.
Complete.
And now I need a drink because that was a lot of communication.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
If
Ready
you like,
for battle.
if you want to share this with everyone else, you are free to do so. Just make sure to. Pardon me. So guys, how can I fit? Unfortunately, that does happen from time to time.
Do not panic.
And looking at the team of Phantom here, they are currently hovering the dive of the Winston with a Mercy, Genji, and
4,
Bastion
3,
instead
2,
of
1.
a normal regular dive. So we're going to be looking at the hits from Bidoof and Aka for the first part. And mainly looking at that, as the Mercy looks to be just there to pocket the Bastion. as a 5-second countdown begins.
One.
Doors open.
Attackers incoming.
Out comes the rock. Does hit the Genji. Genji does go down to half health already. Already having to push on quite quickly. And to the dive goes the Genji and Winston, unfortunately unable to find any purchase. Does not commit the double yet. Looking at another potential engage here from the Winston as they just take the point without any leaps. Looking at potential leap to get out of dodge as the Sigma does wrap around and hits out 3 members of the team of Phantom. Genji does get a kill on the escape before actually losing their life, unfortunately. But that is another team fight going in the way of Swosu and Grey here. Already something utilizing that shield. 3-second cooldown, out comes the rock, down to a quarter of his health goes to Winston on Badu. Unfortunately does get caught out as I'm saying that. Down. They're gonna have to play so far back. Unfortunately Preston gets caught out. Out comes an early flux but gets slipped for his troubles. In comes the dive now. Hits free with that anti-nade, but also Badu hit with a anti-nade from the opponent, Anna of Noir. As we take out a look here at where this fight is happening, down goes Aka again, unfortunately. Playing so aggressive is the side of Swosu Grey, but unfortunately that's what you do have to do. In comes the dive, in comes the bubble. Double bubble for the Winston. Out goes Aka as well, down to the aggression from the Sigma. Out comes the jump from the Winston, unfortunately unable to get out fully. Out comes the Nano just to keep the Winston alive. Is going to see if he gets any damage for this issue. Out comes the artillery form for the Bastion to assess and to try and get to
This ends now.
access. Out comes the OverWatch and the Orbital from the team of Swosu Grey. Down goes the Genji Mercy, then followed by the Bastion, followed by the Winston. Unfortunately not, you are not able to get out. Anna is too slow. 2 ults here from the side of Phantom, down to 60 seconds already. Is this going to be a full hold on A for the side of Phantom on their attack? Or are they going to just get 1 point? Out comes the blade, out comes another flux. No! That seems to stop it this time. Out comes a nasty anti-nade onto 2 members of Swosu Grey. Does get the primal out, does get quite a lot of ults out. With 30 seconds to go, point 1A is taken.
Stop the payload.
And looking at where Volta is, looks like they got the later spawn, unfortunately, and the overtime spawn. That out comes the sleep go onto the Winston as they try to engage. Out comes the anti-nade, out goes down to force out their health. Has to go back to the supports for that wall. As we are looking at this team fight again, looking at Castle, in comes the dive, in, it hits 2, out goes the anti-nade onto both Aka and Badu. Aka loses their life but takes down Noir. But in the meantime, 3 members of Phantom go down.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Nothing here, looking for some early poke damage onto the lines of Phantom. Out comes the aggression, does not hit the Bastion though of Matter. Out comes another anti-nade onto Badu. Has He's been getting a lot of those recently in this game. And here comes the dive though. No storm, no creation for the now comes the freeze onto the game, but now goes the Anna. Now comes the Blizzard onto the backline. Only catches a lot though. But Foss goes down. It is only Anna of what here to contest for a moment. No, goes down to the Sigma. 60 seconds yet again. Unfortunately, Bidoof having to play back again, having to play this off angle. Out comes the grenade from the soldier onto Bolter goes Bidoof. Unfortunately, he's not getting purchased, but down goes not
This
in the
ends
backline.
now.
Down goes Foss as well. Unfortunately, both to the Sigma, and the Sigma wants to play up in the face and up in the spawn duels. Unfortunately, being down both supports, they cannot contest too much into this. But Bidoof wants to try and take the point as quickly as possible. Out comes the Cryo Freeze onto the Bay. Out comes Primal though.
By two support ults on the side of Grey. And it looks like we're coming up on an orbital and a blade on the side of Phantom. And I have cleaned up my room back. But no.
Which means I can no longer have
Blade popped by Aka. Looking to get some value out of this. Looking after Seepser, gets the pick with the help of Bidoof.
Also, the orbital was popped as well. Out comes the Blizzards again, on point! It's only gonna hit Bidoof, and the rest of the team all Phantom gonna hit. Yes, they are, because Bidoof got frozen on the point. No follow up there for the team of Swosu Grey.
So,
Nick.
Yes. And it looks like Junker Queen swap over for Muffin as they look to kind of play against. They have planned. Or artillery going out from Mata.
Out comes Nano onto the Winston. Doubles onto the Anna.
And another Primal very quickly built by Bidoof. And it looks like he's just going to keep the pressure on and try to keep the Ana staggered. And it looks like he managed to do that.
Late again, staggered out by Bidoof. Bidoof wants to play up in the face of this Rhino.
Oh, but they didn't touch. They didn't go all the way, and it doesn't. That could really hurt them, but it doesn't look like it will. As Not does get taken out, but it does look like they will finish with some time
on the clock.
And so they can play to keep going.
40.
3-3.
That is a major time bank in the side of Swosu Grey to even contest this. How do you even come back at this fight if you are Phantom?
They need one good team fight win. One team fight win is all they need. And then they can likely get some progress on the checkpoint to try to get the card unlocked.
Just so
it
you
looks
know,
like they'll
Nick,
be
since he was AFK at the time, it took them all of pretty much the time bank. It was 30 seconds by the time they took A last time round on their attack phase.
We'll see if Grey can hold off as long as they did on the first point. Looks like they'll be running the Ramattra with the Juno Kiri,
4, 3,
but staying DPS line.
And again, this dive from the Bidoof. Wall out early to even contest that the time bank even further down. Already down 10 seconds.
Going out on the Mercy pick, which is interesting. We're gonna. It looks like they're gonna pocket Aka here.
As well. Out comes the anti-nade already onto 3. No follow straight away because it does wear off very quickly nowadays.
And Aka and Foss get picked off very quickly. Foss was kind of just left in the middle of the open ground, and
30
now 30
seconds
seconds
left.
left to
They've only
go.
got time for one more attempt at this point A.
And it looks like
Out
they'll
comes
just
the
kite away.
sleep.
Looks like they'll just kite away, not almost getting picked off. That would have been almost a damaging thing. Foss going back to the Juno just to be able to help test. And in overtime, all characters do get their
10
perks
seconds left.
automatically. Looks like Bidoof is going to try to hop on with the help of
Out
Bubble.
comes,
Anybody actually going to touch? Oh, Bidoof will touch just in time, but Bimana and Akka go down.
3 down, so 5 7, 4 down, 5 down. That's a team fight, that's the round. That is OT bleeding away.
Round 3. Complete.
4 minutes 41 for Swosu
Score.
Grey to take
3
a
to
single
3.
tick
Switching
on
sides.
A of Iconboard. Nick.
Ready for battle.
This doesn't look good on the side of Phantom. The biggest thing is they'll have to do is they'll have to be able to survive the ults that possibly come from Swosu Grey or the potential dives coming in, because it looks like there will be Genji on, played by Seepser, Sly Fox playing the Pharah, and Maniac Muffin playing the Doomfist. It looks like they're wanting to play fast and aggressive because they do have sub 5 minutes to complete this. With Phantom looking to play a little more like anti-dive into this, and Sly Fox will make the change over to the Tracer with it, Juno, but back to the Pharah. With it on a brig backline that's usually really good against the dive, and looks like Soldier and Bastion are playing basically turret, and then looks like Winston's there to make space and keep the bubble and the team alive. So we'll see kind of how they want to play this here.
Boss here on this anti-dive, as you said, on this brig heater to assist the dives every time that has come to not, unfortunately, to contest. And we will look over at the spawn doors for where they are going. Bidoof already up on this high ground over this major choke of A.
I'm an army of one. I'm an army of one.
Akka there running back and
5,
forth between
4,
high ground
3,
and the point,
2, 1.
trying to figure out where they
Attackers
want to play,
incoming.
I'm guessing.
Defend
As
objective
the
A.
team comes in comes the Doomfist over the top! And onto the
Already
point
wanna get it.
already!
Sly Fox does get taken out by Akka, because Akka was watching the skies. And it looks like Akka's just going to try to cut away from it.
Unfortunately, Akka does go down to the Doomfist.
It's punched into the wall, can't escape. And it looks like Muffin's going to be jumping back in again. Pick off the Bastion.
Akka goes down to half health.
So it looks like he's able to kite away. But it looks like Brig goes down, and same
That's
with
3 down, 4
Fiona.
down. Unfortunately, Bidoof on point by himself, unfortunately, unable to capitalize anything there.
And all they
And
need
that's-
was that 45 seconds or so. And that is another win for Swosu Grey.
Swosu looking
Play of the
extremely strong with various comps, not even with the Zarya. This attack phase was heavily impressive from the side of Phantom. Unfortunately, not able to take the win on this map. And we go to another map to see where they want to take us. I believe it is 4 map that they're going to be playing today. I may be
We'll
wrong.
We'll see. Usually it'll be 5. They'll likely have time for one more after this one.
So we may get all game modes here. We've had hybrid, we've had control, we've had escorts. Was it?
I believe so.
Yes, it was Circuit Row. And now they're thinking about potentially a push map. With push, you're looking at Coliseo, Esperanza, New Queen Street.
They want a
is-
flashpoint. Looks like they'll.
Okay.
'Cause it doesn't look like Phantom wants to go to the push map. It looks like it potentially is gonna go to the potentially gonna go to a flashpoint here. But it looks like Phantom will pick the map, and it looks like they're wanting King's Row, and it looks like they'll be banning the Mei because Mei usually in King's Row can work those tight chokes.
Yeah, going back to another high raid here, we'll see how Phantom does. They obviously was better at this icon mold than any other thing, but they were looking still strong in the other matches as well for each round. But they have looked the best on this icon mold. I'll say there has been interesting plays, but that's OverWatch for you. Even pros will make interesting plays, no matter what you do. And as we are looking at King's Row, a main ban from the team of Phantom. If you're if you are Swosu Grey, where do you go? What hero do you ban?
Well, if they're banning the Mei, they're probably likely
Hog.
picking Hog. Interesting. I wonder why the Hog pick here. Maybe it's just because it can't be a protection ban, but I don't know why they would play Hog into this potentially. Maybe it's just kind of a meme pick because they feel very confident. That's kind of the thing that I'm thinking.
Is it because they're thinking about maybe taking them to an Ilios later on in the series? If we do go back to Manic wants the attack first.
Wants defense first, actually, because Blue does get defense.
Yes. Okay. And Foss is not going to argue with Muffinda and just says bet. Fair enough. So for this next match, the team of Phantom is going to be in red, and they might want to change Micey over
Now
to blue spectator, but sure.
Ready for battle.
And looking at the defense here, it's going to be Reinhardt, Torbjorn, Sojourn, Juno, Anna.
Come here! Come here!
So it looks like Mayban is not going to really affect this team of Swosu Grey, again, who are in blue, and is playing heavily aggressive with their Reinhardt. And on the team of Phantom, Bidoof is going to be hovering over this Orisa. So Orisa, Reaper, Kiri, Juno. Apparently Akka is hovering the Diva.
They'll probably end up changing because they are the DPS player. So it looks like and hello Riskin.
Hey, how are y'all doing today?
Doing okay. We're casting Phantom Scrim right now.
Oh, okay. I'll be quiet.
All good. So,
As-
looks like On defense, Swosu Gray is going to be playing the Rhine Shield, but it looks like they'll be, keeping a very pokey DPS lineup with Ash Torb, with the Juno on a backline. And I'm going to take the assumption that Akka is likely going to swap over to the Cass or the Bastion. And they're going to be playing very aggressive Kiri Juno with the Orisa.
Matter here, obviously.
Leave this to an expert. Just start hammering.
Matter
It's not by
here,
the
hovering
people,
the
it's still in the bag.
Reaper. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the voice lines that Bully Team is spamming right now.
It's not by the pig while it's still in the bag.
Just get my camera to somewhere where I can't hear all the voice lines,
5, 4,
so I can think properly.
3, 2,
Yes, obviously the Reaper here going to be for the
defend
secondary
objective A.
poke, and Akka looking at the Widow actually to potentially
Which is
take
not a
out
bad
the...
Which is not a bad start, considering you get the high ground tower, and you kind of watch the Ashe a little bit better. But the moment the Ashe moves, it's probably going
And
to
was
change.
the
And we'll be
anti-onto the
thinking up.
Orisa, and down goes the Orisa though, as you're saying that.
Looks like Akka will be making a swap over to Cass because it looks like Seepser did decide to go to the back high ground on the defense side. And it looks like they'll be holding top right if you're facing the attack way. Dynamite thrown by Seepser. Doesn't look like they're gonna pick on anything. Looks like they're gonna be waiting around this left wall, and it looks like they'll be popping the speed in, but
Down goes Akka though.
Seepser picks off Akka, and looks like their push kinda dies out.
Sweet.
Looks
Sweet
like they're
goal
just
to
kind of...
the Orisa off Bidoof, as you say that.
It looks like they'll be just trying to kite away here and just try to reset. But
Unfortunately,
Muppet
North
does
gets
take out
caught
Nox
out.
and Bidoof.
Any way you guys can screen share this?
I'm feeling divine. I'm feeling divine.
I got it. You're streaming, Steve. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Leave this to an expert.
Stop. Coming back out, no changes. Seepser does get very low though.
Seems is going to be getting taken care of by Foss and
Ooh,
Akka.
Akka. They do clear it off, but there goes Bidoof, so they do lose their tank. And in this kind of battle, you're not going to win if you don't have your tank, and the enemy team does have theirs.
And not on Foss on this high ground, split from their team, unfortunately. Do not think they can easily get out without dying, to be honest.
So it looks like they'll probably just end up being patient, or they'll probably try to run through Hotel if they can. So it
Out
looks like
comes
the
the
rest...
TP of not team. Out comes
Oh, but a
Shatter
huge
hits
shatter.
two!
And with the
As
core,
I
it
was
looks like the
about to
push
say-
is going to die again.
As I was about to say about the Kitsune rush being popped by Knots there to assist their tank, down comes the Shatter, it hits two people.
Hello.
Two full support ults ready on the side of Gray, with Bob coming up, with 4 ults coming, with 3 ults ready and 1 coming up on the side of Phantom. We'll see how they end up playing this. They rotate.
Through Hotel,
Looks like
they
it's
go.
gonna be-
Out comes the purple, in comes the Voltor, but out comes Lawson and the high
It looks like they're just gonna pop everything to try to take this point, which is the worst idea considering they have less than a minute left to go. But there might be enough time for a potential recontest, but it doesn't look like they will end up doing it. And it looks like they'll end up taking this with 3 minutes to go. But that was a very expensive first point win for Phantom.
As you said, everything popped on the side of Phantom that unfortunately not getting a lot of momentum done. And indeed neutral is this team Phantom. Swosu Gray looking heavily in
Looks like
aggressive.
Bidoof's gonna try to run
Down
in,
goes
but ends up
Bidoof.
just...
Here comes the shot, it hits Frey!
So the big thing there, Bidoof tries to go push in past the Ryan to go back lane, but Muffin just starts swinging, and with the help of Swipefox on that board, Bidoof ends up getting taken out with it, and then the Shatter just to clean up. And it looks like they will end up holding here just by the first choke on the hard part.
Of the enemy Ash. But those go down to half health. He's
Nano popped on Muffin. Those Mana on that
As I
Oh,
said,
but,
Nano does come out.
but Muffin is picked off from the rest of their team. They just get surrounded by Phantom and taken out.
And somehow
Looks like-
Slight does also go down that fight. I don't know how.
And looks like 3 members of Phantom will be pushing forward to try to take space and try to allow the cart to move up, with Foss holding back on the cart and Mata looking to push up as well. Muffin will swap over to Zarya to try to play against the Orisa a little bit.
Looking at this angles, out comes the
Looks like
shield
Bidoof
already. Out comes Bob onto point, but out comes the rush from Fox.
And then Bidoof had nowhere to go. Bidoof with nowhere to go. And Akka ends up picking up the Bob, but it looks like Phantom will just try to kite away and reset. As it looks like Gray will try to push the momentum, try to get a pick and stagger them out more, but it doesn't look like they will be
does need
successful.
health again. Down to 60 seconds though, so they're going to need to make a decision of what they're doing here. Looking at it, 2 ults in regards to Phantom here.
But another orbital coming up for Gray, but it looks like Walter will get low, but it looks like they won't have to worry about that.
Out comes Orbital for Phantom already.
Akka gets picked up by
early.
Caesar,
Out comes
and
the
the other,
Tower Surge.
and it looks like they'll end up managing to clean up this fight again. But they only had to pop 2 ults this time with Blossom and a Bob ready for Phantom in case they have to push it. 20 seconds left to go. No
Ball
ults
taken
on the
out
side
on the
of
exit
Gray.
as well. Bolter off on this high ground to the left hand side, looking at potentially assisting the tank. In with the tank goes. Down
Bob gets
goes
taken out.
Boss,
But
but
the
out
Bob
comes
and
the
the Blossom.
Blossom.
Blossom and Bob popped here to help get the fight win, and it looks like they will manage to do it.
No one's on point right now, so it's not going to go past point B, as they've already got it to the refinery now. And already aggressive is the Booth up in the face of Muffin here. Up on the high ground is Akka and Mata well to assist if we need it.
3 players of Phantom sitting up on the high ground, and Akka, Mata, and Foss.
Akka
Looks like they'll be
takes
just
down
trying
the
to
counter
keep pressure on
Ash.
them.
There goes War again.
But it looks like that'll be another team fight win for Phantom. But
Renaissance Surge! Gage late!
tried to catch Knot there. Tried to catch Knot napping, but they weren't able to, and Finn does go down. And Seepster did return on the Genji to try to contest quickly, and Walter also
Core
Ooh,
engage,
multi-port.
but does not get anything!
Ball coming in with...
Ball for
Oh,
Muffin.
but Mata gets knocked off the map by Muffin on the ball, and Noir is just pocketing
Tower Surge
on the
engage
skirt.
again, and in goes Ball, but down goes the ball.
And it doesn't look like they'll finish with any time
Very
on the clock.
scrappy, very scrappy fight at the end here. 2 players on each team, all for here. Again, as you said, overtime did tick away. No time in the bank for Phantom.
Score 0-3.
One way this
Switching
does
sides.
potentially extend further is if Phantom can hold Gray
Ready for
to
battle.
a 0-second overtime as well. Both teams will then get a minute on the clock to try to push and see what they can get. So, it looks like Phantom is going to be staying with a generally similar lineup to what they were running on offense, but for defense they'll be running the Ram here, with Seepster going over to the Widow just to start off, probably for an opening pick. Pharah, played by Fly. Muffin on the Winston with... It looks like they were going to go on a Lucio, but it looks like Bolter will go with the Juno and they'll play the double speed. But it looks like they decide against double speed.
Until the doors open, we really do not know what these teams are going to do. They do seem to be changing up
5,
very
4, 3, 2.
a lot here. And as I say that, Akka also changes off to the Bastion.
As he lets out intense, high-pitched beeps.
Yes. I believe they're just letting the clock tick down so they can get their Bastion back into position.
5, 4.
It looks like it will be the Zarya Torb with a Juno Ana.
Defend
It looks like
objective A.
Seepster's just going to be out for an initial poke, but doesn't look like there's anything to poke.
Muffin on this Zarya, which has always looked so mean in the whole of this series so far.
But Muffin does get below half, and looks like the Duke is trying to push his advantage.
Fortunately, no wrenching was gained, and shield out for the Ramatra of the Duke here to try and get something. I hear the Widow shots being taken every so often. The Duke does go down to half health, but does get the care from the Swosu and the Kiri.
Now looks like
the 100% charge of the Muffin, and already on this flank, looking for the back line.
It looks like Seepster is swapping to the Soj, because it doesn't look like they were able to get any value on the... Looks like they did try to rotate Hotel side, but it looks like they'll just stay in middle.
Out comes the Nemesis 4 for Bidoof here. Unfortunately, does go very low. Is needing to get out to get something done. But in the meantime, Akka does take out the Torb of the Sly Fox.
It looks like that's the only pick they will get, as it looks like Muffin will push up aggressively, just take a little bit of space, and it looks like a lot quicker than what Phantom did. It looks like Swosu Gray is going to take this point with a lot more time in the bank, with 5 minutes compared to 3.
Almost 5 minutes into the bank after that push and capture on A. Over to streets now, where they're going to be played primarily by this hotel and the library.
This corner is so important in a King's Row fight on that second point, usually. Whoever can kind of hold this corner kind of dictates the game.
Looking at alt charge here, they've only got to be having annihilation, but in comes the grounds on the surge, hits 2 members.
No chance to pop the orbital there that Boss just got. No Kitsune and no chance for annihilation because that is still 3% away.
Unfortunately, like not getting taken care of and staggered out very late there.
And it looks like how Phantom did, it looks like Gray AM will be taking space, primarily with the Zarya and the Torb.
And out comes the Russian early, and out comes the also double support ult with the annihilation to assist. But down goes the Duke, unfortunately.
But Muffin does get taken out, so there is no chance on either side.
Out and comes the Mosin Core, but it gets taken care of immediately.
And it looks like Phantom will come away with the fight win. 3 minutes left to go on the clock. No ults on the side of Swosu Gray. Both DPS ults on the side of Phantom. It looks they'll probably end up trying to use them a bit more defensively. Try to hold this point up a little longer. See if they can stall out for time. As Gray does come back around the corner. Try to re-engage.
In comes Muffin, looking for some ult charge and some much needed beam charge. Already sees the Kiri that is out of position slightly. Unfortunately, going off just the Duke, having to pop the Nemesis form early to just keep himself alive.
It looks like he'll just ignore the Zarya here and try to poke him. Yeah,
Here comes the
probably
anti. Again, Nemesis form popped by Manu just to try and push him back.
Mata tried to hop in,
Unfortunately-
possibly look for a blossom, but doesn't look like there was any opportunity.
Unfortunately, that area is going to be very much a hindrance to Mata.
Aka takes out Fly.
Out comes another route on his three members of Phantom. But in the meantime, Mata takes out both supports in regards to Swosu Grey, leading to the team fight actually going into the way of Phantom.
But it was a very expensive team fight win. They're going to have to be waiting for their team to come back. But it looks like Muffin's going to swap and go for the Ramacha Mirror here. As it looks like they weren't happy with the Zarya. As they'll be rounding this corner again, looking to re-engage with a minute and a half left on
100%, and they've got another orbital and rush combination here. I'm just hoping that they don't come at the same time. Well, out comes the rush already, as I'm saying that. No orbital yet, it's not
It
been
looks like
getting-
Ray will just hide away around the corner. But Aka does take out Seepser, so it looks like they'll have to kite away and regroup. It looks like they'll just hold this corner, just hold till Seepser can get back on their team. Minute left to go on the clock. Good defense held by Phantom.
Mata TP into the high ground, keeping this high ground very much in check. Making sure that he's got nothing to contest.
And it looks like they'll be rotating left side after the orbital was popped by Foss. And Aka's left out by himself. And Bob will get popped in the corner. And it looks like Bidoof runs in to try to go around. Same with Mata. And Mata does get very low, but does manage to get back around the corner. And they'll just hold. They'll hold around the left side, looking to see if they can get a different angle.
Nothing, but also is contested.
Bidoof gets taken out.
Oh, flop. Unfortunately, Aka, Bidoof going down. As you said.
Bidoof tried to run into an orbital ray with Annihilation, but it just didn't work out in the end because, sure, there was no tank there, but he didn't have the help of his other teammate.
10 seconds left, so they're going to get a minute first.
Minute 30 push, the same as Phantom, so good defense on second point by Phantom to try to hold off. And the
very strong defense there.
Multiple will be popped out. Aka does take out Balter. And Seepser looks to fall off the map.
Falls off the map.
And looks like they'll just kite away. I don't know if that was a reset. I have no clue. It didn't say in the feed. It just said they died. So either they went for a reset or they just ended up sliding off the map. Or not paying attention. Minute to go.
Let's go. This is a very strong defense on point B and point C. Out comes a rush to engage. Already.
Not has been getting a lot of these rushes really quickly. 4-man anti, but it doesn't look like there'll be any way to capitalize as it gets picked by Not.
Out comes the dynamite for Aka in the meantime as well.
Phantom usually does really good on King's Row. They're attacking and defending. Map they like to go to. Annihilation is popped by Muffin and runs straight at the back line, taking out 2.
How much less possible? It's the unfortunately, that does get taken out by the.
Oh, but no one's there to touch as Foss is right sitting on point and takes out who is trying to run back to point, but Foss ends up taking a slight Foss and doesn't look like the rest of Swosu Grey was able to pay attention enough to the cart. It's like they generally kind of see that.
There we go again. This is what we witnessed in regards to the backline pressure from Mata that round. Foster
Hello, Meteor.
Shalom.
Hello.
How we doing?
We're casting the scrim that Phantom is doing.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
I'm just gonna quickly have a drink, so Nick.
Well, shoot. I will hop out of there then because we're gonna be facing them this weekend.
Fair enough.
Both of our teams. So it's Void versus Void versus Phantom sub teams on Saturday and main teams on Sunday.
Nice.
Uh,
Yeah,
think
no,
gonna be
I'm
fun.
on the sub team for Phantom, which is now Phantom Academy.
Yeah, I was about to say Academy, but I forgot you were on there, so I wasn't sure if you understood or not.
Oh no, I know.
Gotcha,
Okay,
gotcha. I forgot you were on there.
chosen Rune Sapi here. For
Alright. Well, have fun.
Thank you.
Big Figure.
As we
Yes.
always love to have visitors in our booth.
Yes. As Reskin is still here, just vibing.
Vibin.
But the Rune Sapi pick here, I believe that.
And it looks like Muffin is wanting to ban out the Ash, because it looks like Akka has been a bit of a menace on that King's Row map. It's like they'll be wanting to get rid of the Ash and possibly protect another one of their DPS.
That's an interesting pick there. Rune Sapi picked by Sly Fox as well. Sly
So it
Fox
looks like-
has shown a lot
it
of
looks-
Torb so far. So
Right. And so they're probably wanting to protect the Torb and kind of keep the Ash out of the way. And it looks like Swosu Gray is going. At the moment, the map count is to 3-1, but it can become a little closer. Sure, it might be a loss in terms of scrim maps for Phantom, but they can still end it out in a 1-map loss in a 3-2. But we'll see what they can do on the Runasapi.
100%.
And it looks like Phantom will be banning out the Ana. Noir, probably a different support, which I will suspect is probably going to likely be they're going to play Lucio or Kiri. And so they might run the Kiri Lucio or the Juno Lucio or the Juno Kiri. And so we'll see what they want to play with here.
Welcome to
100%. And as we load into Rune Sapi, this beautiful map that it is.
Probably the best push map in all the game, considering how much it was played in the WCS finals last year.
100%. We are primarily looking at this first area for this attack of this initial bot location. Again, with push, as every map is, both sides are equal and symmetrical. And there is faster routes that you can run, but we'll see what they choose here. But if looking at the Orisa here instead of the Ramatra, on the side of
4,
Muffin though is
3,
looking at the
2,
Ramatra.
1.
The
Looks like
Juno
they'll be running
Kiri,
Unlocks in 30 seconds.
two separate DPS lines with the same backline.
yep,
It seems
Juno
through the
Kiri
Sly
from
Fox
both
run
sides.
And it looks like they'll be running the Sojourn May on the side of Gray with the Reaper Cass on the side of Phantom. As we get this underway, both teams are going to contest middle around the same time. But it looks like Gray does get there first to get the early positioning.
And immediately out comes the Nemesis form, takes down 2, or does
Seepsir does take
Seepsir.
both Bidoof and Akka, and Battler does take out his counterpart in Foss. Balter, I should say.
Already, meters being added to the tally, almost halfway to the checkpoint already.
Now the question is, will they try to push around the checkpoint without any ults, or will they just kind of corner? But it looks like they
Down
want to
goes
push
small.
the
In the
Looks like they
neutral
want to push
again.
Looks like they're pushing this aggressively. Consider they do have one down. It looks like they will hit
That
first
is
checkpoint.
checkpoint. Down goes Bidoof as well.
Right now, Gray is just running like a runaway freight train right now. They just can't stop as they just bulldoze over Phantom. And right now, they're still gaining charge, and it looks like Phantom's going to test. Mata takes out Slyfox.
Yeah, as you said, Slyfox goes down to Massa. And this Cassidy.
And it looks like they'll jump down. It looks like Phantom will jump down, trying to kill the rest of taking the bot back. And 83 meters in the first about 2 minute round.
That is a lot of push for 2 fights and only 2 minutes.
Enemy forward spawn.
As it looks like they'll get it back to center and they'll start their own push. And it looks like Gray will be contesting through mid. May all pop. But it doesn't look like it takes anything.
Was unable to promptly get
Aka and Hoffman are just having a stare down duel. But Aka takes out Slide. Annihilation to try to counter this back out with the help of Speed Ring, but Duke looks to try to take space away from the Ramatra.
Dodge goes down to the Annihilation. Out goes the Overwatch at the same time, pretty much. But Duke's going down to that Overclock as well.
But Foss tried to get aggressive on Seedster, but gets taken out by the Overclock. Mata's trying to clean up, but it doesn't look like he will be able to.
And all this time, Aka is on bot, pushing it.
But this is that was a very expensive push for Foss and the rest of Phantom as they lose the orbital with an orbital on the side of Gray held by Bolter, a Noir with a Kitsune Rush as well as Not. Alt in the advantage of Phantom with Tank Alt in the Orisa and the Blossom for the Reaper.
100% as usual. Out comes the rush, out comes the out comes the Terror Surge though. Hits free.
Not takes out his counterpart, and Mata takes out Seedster, but ooh, looks like Mata ends up getting traded quick by Muffin. Aka takes 2. And it looks like Team Phantom will be pushing them back towards center. Getting a
Bolter unfortunately staggered out there by the rest of the team.
2 ults to 1 in favor of Phantom as the rush is still held by Noir.
How comes the rush as you say that?
It looks like Muffin's trying to catch Fawcett, which he does.
Boss down. Aka down.
But it looks like Phantom does get the checkpoint.
Wanting to get out. Phantom with the checkpoint early and forward spawns.
But it looks like the Duke does get staggered.
Leave down. And as Spot returns back to middle, they'll lose that forward spawn. I believe before the rest of the team get back.
And so Not and Bidoof will have a long way to run to try to recontest. Looks like Aka is just trying to get some picks.
Aka already looking for picks.
But looks like he wants to back out quickly. And it looks like they might potentially get some more push. 5 minutes to go. We're halfway through this round.
Forward spawn reactivated for the side of Swosu, Gray. And around Rapid is this.
Noon popped by Aka, but doesn't seem to get a pick. Kind of pulled the
Blossom does not get anything out of the Bruno and the soldier, never mind.
Oh, but the Blizzard does get eaten by the Orisa spin.
Heavy ults engaged by both sides there. And again,
we'll have
Phantom
support ult on the side of Phantom with Kitsune Rush and coming up close orbital with Annihilation on the side with an overclock. So it looks like Gray will be able to recontest before the bot does get back to mid. So it'll be an uphill push for Phantom. But Seedster does get
and there goes the ult as well, but here comes Annihilation in return. As I said, Bidoof went down as well early in that part.
After not got picked early, Foss tried to pop the orbital ray to make up for a little bit of the lack of healing that the Curie helps does provide. but it doesn't look like it's going to amount to anything as Gray is just going to end up...
reactivated. All the signs of the social game. The Gray again.
This ends
Out comes the
now.
overclock. Out comes the Nemesis form as well. Into the small room goes the Patra with the May. Back up. Takes out
Flyfox with
Swosu.
a
Takes
double
out
pick.
Free.
Flyfox with a double pick. It looks like Seepser is holding
Double
Punch Charge
support
Rail.
here as well for Swosu.
With a few meters left to go, can Phantom recontest? They're going quick with a speed ring.
In comes the Orbital, in comes the Terror Surge, and in comes the Death Knight. Everything
Aka
getting
does
popped.
the alter.
Blizzard getting popped as well.
But what Mata was using the bot to hide.
That's
but
full
doesn't look-
completion.
And Seepser was just absolutely nasty on this map. He was the full server admin in this map as they managed to get a lot of double kills and even a 4-piece at the end of the map to help secure it.
And
that'll be a 4.
It's that 4-piece right at the end as well. There is the shutdown on the Deadeye.
It's about, and as we're using a 2-hour block until about 10 p.m. Eastern, we have about 12 minutes till that, so we'll see if they want to play another map. If not, this will be the last map.
And unfortunately, a 4-1 is probably not what Phantom wanted, but in the long run, it is probably an enlightenment to them to see what they need to improve on. If they are just lacking any sort of thing in their team, but they are looking strong and mighty though. They can hold their heads high after this screw if that was the last map, because it looked extremely
And it looks
close.
like that will be the last map, as the rest of them will pull out, and it looks like that will be the scrim here, as a 4-1 for Swosu Gray.
And let's see if we can get any potential post-scrim interviews. I don't think so, but we will see.
We have a few of them sitting in the Phantom Scrim channel, so.
Yes. If you want to have a hop up and see if they wanted to speak. We will be right back.
They're 3.8 tank.
Uh,
Yeah, you're good. It's also in content as well, and usually it'll stay up afterwards anyway. So you could just it was posted a couple hours ago by Steve, so it should be just in content, just like the third one from the bottom.
okay. So we have a post-game and post-scrim interview here. We have Foss and Not here from Team Phantom. Foss, how did that go?
It was a overwhelming loss in terms of like the actual game outcome, but I think as a team we definitely grew from that a lot. Um, we initially we were kind of struggling to kind of find our ground and identify the weaknesses in the enemy team, but as like more maps went on, we started to kind of like strengthen our teamwork and also just kind of like figure out like what we needed to do better and how we could improve on and kind of like make up for some of the weaknesses that we had.
Now, while it was a 4-1, you guys did very well on that Kings Row. It seems like Kings Row always seems to be your guys' strongest map of when I've watched you guys. Is it just kind of a preference to Kings Row? Do you guys just feel that's your one map you always know you can rely on for a win?
Well, for Kings Row, at least, like, we don't really pick it just for the win. It's also just a comfort pick per se. It really started with us, like the very first ever Phantom like internal scrim. It started on Kings Row, and we've run Kings Row the most in terms of just like internal scrims and also just like in multiple other scrims. So out of all the maps that we've played on, I think we have the most experience kind of like playing together on Kings Row. So that's just a comfort pick for us. We consider it our home map.
Fair enough. And Not, you were playing a few different variations, unfortunately. What what do you think went wrong or right during the whole series?
So basically, like, the only real issues that we were having were we were trying out different team comps because the team is like rather new, and I just joined, so I'm trying to get used to how they play and trying to understand their knowledge of the game. So basically, what went wrong is all of just us not W-king whenever we need to, whenever we're running Brawl. Playing Poke, we're pretty comfortable, like, because Poke's the easiest comp to play, I think. And then with Dive, it's just kind of like the timing or tempo of it was a little bit off, but otherwise, like, we have a lot to build off of, but it's just getting to that point and having everybody know what they need to is it's going to be a process, because, you know, this is only a Plat Diamond team, so.
It is what it is. Coming back to you, Voss, you faced off with what sounds like a relatively good team and a relatively updated team. How were the communications within the whole team structure?
I think, especially at the beginning, we were having a little bit of issues with communication and trying to get like an idea and a plan coming up. But as soon as I think after like the first or second map, we started to actually like plan the team fights out in advance, and after we had our supports kind of like adapt the plan based on what they saw from the back. Our tank was a little less vocal at the beginning, but after we kind of encouraged him a little bit, we started having him like call out targets, have him have the target prio, and things started to get a little bit better after that. Morale was overall pretty high, though.
One thing I'd like to say, it's like, you guys definitely played well as a team, and a lot of you had your moments in all the maps, even if it was a 4-1 loss. Who would you say overall was your MVP of your 5-man of that 4-1 loss?
I think at least the MVP would have to go to Not, because even though he's the newest addition to the team, in terms of just like actually like taking charge of like the fight planning and like getting our just like shit together,
Putting us in a line. Yeah,
yeah,
just putting us in a line.
Yeah, and trying to like just keeping us composed. I would say just for that factor, it'd have to be Not.
We did notice that there was a lot of times where you did double support ult to assist your tank with their potential push and potential ults. Is that something that was communicated a lot, or is that something that you just did?
It was more of I'm like, okay, I have Kitsune, I'm gonna pop it as soon as they engage. They start engaging, and then all I hear is Juno pop up.
It was
So,
also like,
yeah,
at least within it, it was my thought process during the double support ults where I would let the initial like support ult come out first, and then depending on how I would assess the situation, sometimes my assessment would be wrong and we wouldn't need the support ult, but sometimes it would be right and we would need the second support ult just to like further out and finish out that brawl.
Fair enough.
And kind of going along with this question, I noticed a lot of the time is you guys would win fights a lot of the time when you just guys kind of alt dumped it a little bit, and I'm sure that wasn't ever the plan, but I'm assuming from my perspective is that was kind of one of the few ways you guys were able to kind of break through stuff like the Zarya that they had played by their tank player. Did you really try to find any other way? Like, how hard was it to kind of find ways to break through what they had, especially on that circuit when they had basically the death line on top of the first bridge? Like, how did you guys find a way to kind of slowly kind of break that without having to alt dump?
Honestly,
well, I think the issue that we were having with that is in terms of like team coordination. I think that's the point that I finally kind of started to just like calm on what we should really do, and I don't think we meant to ult dump. I think it's just like our DPS and tank, whenever they felt right, was time to ult. But I remember on circuit, whenever we started pushing, it was like, I'm gonna nano. So as soon as tank is back out in Nemesis, once his cooldown ran out, I nanoed him, and then they started to take high ground, and we shoved them really well. It's just the only issue that we're really having was their tank player, because their tank player was a Masters tank, and the rest of their team, like, it's obvious from playing dive that they weren't able to keep up as much. But in terms of like ult dumping, I don't think it was like intentional. It just ended up happening at times.
Yeah, because their tank player was looked to be a Peak Masters 4 player, but currently at Plat 1, so.
Yeah.
Or Diamond 1, I should say, anyway.
You guys did extremely well, I must have to say that, especially for a new team. How much, and you both can answer this question, how much did that tank player playing one of their comfort picks of Zarya constantly really affect how you guys were making decisions going forwards with especially hero bans?
A lot of it was we did blunder a little bit on the circuit pick because they banned Zarya. Our thought process at the time was our tank player, especially his Sigma's probably his strongest tank, but the constant Zarya kind of was a hard counter to that, and we were planning on running the Sigma and banning Zarya on circuit, especially since it's such a
And
good
they
map for
banned the
Sigma.
Sigma, yeah.
They banned the Sigma. But yeah, a lot of our decisions were based around like where the tank player was and how, if the tank player was down. Because once the tank went down, I would rate that the DPS were decently able to put up a fight, but their supports, a lot of times, like on Nepal, I was able to catch them unawares, like with flanks, and as Brig, I was on circuit. It was I was unsuccessful, but I was able to like push and contest both a Ana and a Juno at the same time.
I did notice that, and was highly interesting to just all of a sudden look over to my right of my screen and just see a flanking Brig. So,
Yeah.
congrats on that. You made me laugh slightly during casting. So, I think that, unless Nick has more questions,
I don't think I have any more questions.
that will conclude this post-scrim interview. Thank you very much, Foss and Not, for joining this post-interview. Hope you have
Pleasure.
better luck with your next scrims.
Thank you.
It was a learning experience, and I will be looking forward to watching the whole casting afterwards.
Yep, nice.
Yeah, you'll get to listen. Even to me, I fucking had food with me, and then I just dropped the plate, and then I was muted for most of Eichenwald, so.
Yeah, he doesn't lie. He doesn't lie.
Anyway.
Right, gents, it was a pleasure.
Yes.
We'll
Take care.
catch you guys later.
Yep,
See ya.
thank you for having us.
See ya.
Yep.
Okay. And that will conclude this scrim here. Nick, final thoughts on how Phantom did over all? Obviously, Swosu Grey looking the hell of a dominant team there, purely because of their experience of the tank player.
Well, when you have an experienced tank player who's able to help take charge, I'm sure that's what their tank player was doing, is helping take charge. It just makes it so much easier to kind of coordinate, especially when the tank's kind of looking at everything and kind of assessing. But all things considering that they have a, they have a new support player in, or player in Not, and he was helping as like...
And a new player in the tank role of Bidoof as well, by the sounds of it.
And generally, Phantom did get stronger as they went along. It just obviously didn't translate into success. But I guarantee that they'll probably be back. And if they do play Swosu Grey again, that they will, they will be better, and they will, I'm sure the match will definitely be a lot closer.
Oh yeah, and knowing their coach, they'll dissect every single little thing in regards to both my point of view, and also the VODs and codes of what is going on. Hopefully I did show as much as I can. Unfortunately, without the techniques of what OverWatch do for the pro leagues, can only show you my point of view, can't really show you Nick's point of view. But let's go into this one here, guys. Thanks everyone for joining in. Until the next one.